very good evening to you and welcome to this edition of Dalsan TV English News. My name is Abdelrazak Ali and we have a lot lined up for you on this day of 30th December 2022. But first, let's have a look at some of our top stories. Somalia and Djibouti celebrate launch of Somali Language Academy. Somalia's defector rehabilitation centers face financial uncertainty. 25,000 tons of Ukrainian wheat delivered to Somalia. Now, Somali President Dr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and his counterpart Djibouti President Ismail Omar Gelle attended a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Intergovernmental Somali Language Academy in Mogadishu. Eunice Deko has more.
Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and his counterpart Djibouti President Ismail Omar Gelle attended a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Intergovernmental Somali Language Academy in Mogadishu. President Mohamud said the center will be instrumental in preserving the Somali language and culture. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud thanked President Ismail Omar Gelle and the government of Djibouti for their role in implementing the project. Other leaders in attendance included the Prime Minister of the Federal Government of Somalia, Hamza Abdi Bare, Kenya's Minister of Defense, Aden Duale, and ministers and MPs from the Federal Government of Somalia.
The Somali intelligence forces and the Haramad police forces are in full control of Jilib and Gandershe villages under Marka town in Lower Shabelle region. The military officials supervising the operation said the army planned operation resulted in many casualties, including death, injuries to the Al-Shabaab militants.
The Somali intelligence agency and forces from Haramad police fully controlled Jilib, Marka and Gandershe village under Marka town in the Lower Shabelle region on Friday morning, following heavy fighting with the Al-Shabaab militant. The military officials supervising the operation said that the army planned operations resulted in many casualties, including death and injuries to the Al-Shabaab group. Intelligence forces and Haramad police have also conducted mine-sweeping operations in areas where the group has long held sway. The federal government recently announced that the national forces will begin conducting extensive operations on the road between the towns of Marka in Middle Shabelle region and Mogadishu, Somalia's capital. On Monday, a coordinated operation with NISA and Haramad special forces raided secret Al-Shabaab camps near El Marade, Karasgawan, Galkasalimo and regions under number 60 in Lower Shabelle region. According to officials, this large-scale operation was conducted en route connecting Mogadishu and Marka.
Meanwhile, as part of Ukrainians' aid to the people of Africa who are on the brink of starvation, the shipment of 25,000 tons of Ukrainian wheat was delivered to the port of Berbera in Somalia. Andriy Yermak, head of the office of the President of Ukraine, said on Twitter,
"As part of Ukraine's aid to the people of Africa who are on the brink of starvation, the shipment of 25,000 tons of Ukrainian wheat was delivered to the port city of Berbera in Somalia." Andriy Yermak, the head office of the President of Ukraine, said on Twitter that as part of the Grain from Ukraine program, the Neva ship delivered 25,000 tons of Ukrainian wheat to the port city of Berbera in Somalia. This is Ukraine's aid to the African people on the brink of starvation. In partnership with the World Food Programme, logistics costs were borne by Finland, France, and Japan, said Andriy Yermak, the head of the office of the President of Ukraine. As reported, 11 ships with Ukrainian agricultural products recently departed from Ukraine's Black Sea port as part of Black Sea Grain Initiative. In September, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine announced that Ukraine will contribute 50,000 tons of wheat as humanitarian aid to support the actions of the governments of Ethiopia and Somalia.
Elsewhere, the Brazil has entered 3 days of mourning following the death of football star Pelé. Tributes continue to pour from all over the world following the passing of football icon. The 82-year-old was widely regarded as the greatest player of all time and a 3-time World Cup winner who masterminded the beautiful game. Brazilian football legend Pelé, arguably the greatest player ever, has died at the age of 82. He is credited with scoring a world record 1,281 goals in 1,363 appearances during a 21-year career, including 77 goals in 92 matches for his country. The only player to win the World Cup 3 times, lifting the trophy in 1958, 1962 and 1970. Pelé was named FIFA's Player of the Century in 2000. Pelé had been suffering with kidney and prostate problems in recent years. He had surgery to remove tumor from his colon in September 2021 at the Albert Einstein Hospital in Sao Paulo. After the tumor was detected in routine tests, he was readmitted to his hospital late November 2022. His daughter Kelly has kept fans updated on her father's condition with regular social media updates from hospital. On Thursday, she posted a picture of what appeared to be Pelé's family hands on his body in hospital and wrote, "Everything we are is to thank you. We love you infinitely. Rest in peace." The hospital confirmed that Pelé died due to the failure of multiple organs, a result of the progression of colon cancer associated with his previous clinical condition. Pelé's former club, Santos, released details on his funeral. On Monday morning, his body will be moved from the hospital to the club's Estadio Albano Cordera, where the coffin will be placed in the center of the pitch for the public to pay respects. On Tuesday, there will be a procession through the streets of Santos in Sao Paulo to a private family burial. Edson Arantes, better known as Pelé, became a global star when aged 17. He helped Brazil win the 1958 World Cup in Sweden, forcing his way into the starting line by the knockout stages. He scored the only goal in 1-0 victory over Wales in the quarter-finals, a hat-trick against France in the semi-final, and 2 in a 5-2 triumph over hosts in the final. It was the first of 643 goals he would score for the club in official competitions over 19 years. Although Santos claim the total is more than 1,000 once exhibition matches, often against high-profile European oppositions, are taken into account. The Brazilian football and Santos say Pelé scored 1,283 goals in 1,864 matches, while FIFA claims it was 1,281 goals in 1,366 games. The final part of his trilogy of World Cup wins was his most iconic. After being fouled out of the 1966 tournament in England, he was the fulcrum of a thrilling attacking team that swept to the title in 1970, scoring the goal in 4-1 win over Italy in the final. His greatness can be measured by the simple fact that he could make football a spectacle of natural grace and beauty when he missed as much as when he scored. One of the game's first global personalities, Pelé layered his brilliance across a career spanning from a teenager with Santos to a money spinner at New York Cosmos. Whenever football is played, the name Pelé will be synonymous with it. The federal police in Ethiopia began to deploy Thursday to Mekelle, the capital of war-torn Tigray province, marking a new stage in a nearly 2-month-old peace deal. The war between the federal government and Tigray rebels began in November 2020. The federal police in Ethiopia began to deploy on Thursday to Mekelle, the capital of war-torn Tigray province, marking a new stage in a nearly 2-month-old peace deal. War between the federal government and Tigray rebels began in November 2020. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed sent troops into the northern region after accusing its ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF), of attacking army bases. According to the US, as many as 500,000 people have died in the conflict. An agreement reached on November 2nd in the South African capital, Pretoria, provides for the disarmament of rebel forces, the reestablishment of federal authority in Tigray, and the reopening of access to the region. On December 22nd, the two sides agreed to create a joint monitoring and compliance mechanism to supervise the implementation of the peace deal. Thank you so much for watching us here on Dalsan TV English News. My name is Abdulrazak Ali.